Plant anatomy and plant physiology. Have you ever wondered how plants without a brain or a nervous system manage to survive and thrive? Picture this. They stand rooted in one spot, soaking up the sun, and yet, they're some of the most resilient life forms on our planet. These green wonders have been around for over 1 billion years, and they've mastered the art of living without moving an inch. But how do they do it? How do they grow, reproduce, and defend themselves against predators? The answers lie deep within their structure, in the fascinating world of plant anatomy and physiology. It's a world that plays a vital role in our ecosystem, and in our own survival. From the oxygen we breathe to the food we eat, we owe it all to plants. So, isn't it time we understood these silent stationary soldiers a little better? Let's dive into the anatomy and physiology of plants, shall we? Imagine a bustling city without any roads or highways. A little hard to imagine, isn't it? Just like cities, plants have highways called the vascular system, consisting of xylem and phloem tissues. This system facilitates transport of water, nutrients and sugars to all parts of a plant. Furthermore, it communicates vital information ensuring everything remains interconnected. Therefore, the vascular system is the lifeline, enabling both transportation and communication. Just as humans have different body structures, plants too have different internal structures. Let's explore the differences between dicot and monocot roots, stems, and leaves. So what's the difference? Let's start with the roots. In dicots, the root is characterized by a central star-shaped core of vascular tissue called the xylem, surrounded by concentric layers of phloem. On the other hand, monocot roots have a ring-shaped arrangement of these tissues, with the xylem and phloem alternating around a central pith. Now let's move up to the stem. In dicots, the vascular bundles are arranged in a ring around the edge of the stem, with the pith in the center. The bundles contain both xylem and phloem, and they are separated by a layer of cells known as the cambium. This cambium allows the stem to grow in thickness over time. In contrast, monocot stems have their vascular bundles scattered throughout the stem, with no cambium. This means that monocot stems can't grow in thickness like dicots can. Next, let's take a look at the leaves. In dicots, the leaf veins form a net-like pattern, which is why they're also known as reticulate venation. The cells of the leaf are packed tightly together, forming a layer called the palisade parenchyma, which is where most photosynthesis takes place. In monocot leaves, the veins run parallel to each other, in a pattern called parallel venation. The cells are more loosely arranged, with large air spaces in between for gas exchange. So why are these differences important? Well, these structural differences are linked to the different ways in which these plants have adapted to their environments. For instance, the scattered vascular bundles in monocot stems allow them to be flexible and resist wind damage, while the ring-like arrangement in dicots provides strength and support for vertical growth. In terms of leaves, the net-like venation in dicots allows for efficient distribution of water and nutrients, making them well-suited for environments with plenty of sunlight and water. On the other hand, the parallel venation in monocots, coupled with large air spaces, makes them ideal for gas exchange and survival in waterlogged conditions. It's fascinating, isn't it? The same basic building blocks, xylem, phloem, and parenchyma, arranged differently, leading to such diverse forms and functions. And that's the beauty of plant anatomy. The same elements used in different ways to create a stunning array of plant life. So the next time you're out in nature, take a moment to appreciate the complexity and diversity of the plants around you. Remember, each one is uniquely structured, adapted to its own specific environment and needs. Understanding these differences helps us appreciate the diversity and complexity of plant life. Ever wondered why plants are green or why autumn leaves are red, orange, and yellow? Well, let's dive into the color palette of plants and uncover the science behind these vibrant hues. The primary pigment that gives plants their green color is chlorophyll. It's abundant in chloroplasts, the tiny powerhouses inside plant cells where photosynthesis happens. But chlorophyll is not the only pigment in town. There are also carotenoids, which can be orange, yellow, or red. These pigments are usually masked by the dominant green of chlorophyll, but as autumn approaches and chlorophyll breaks down, the beautiful colors of carotenoids shine through. Then we have anthocyanins, which offer a range of colors from red to purple and even blue. They're not always present but can be produced in response to environmental changes like cold temperatures or high light levels. And lastly, there are the xanthophylls, a type of carotenoid which are yellow. They work together with chlorophyll and other pigments to help absorb and utilize light for photosynthesis. Interestingly, Each of these pigments absorbs light at different wavelengths, allowing plants to make the most of the sunlight they receive. It's like each pigment is a different artist, working together to create the masterpiece of photosynthesis. So, the next time you admire a leaf's vibrant color, remember that there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. These pigments are not just for show, they play a crucial role in photosynthesis. Scene script. Let's delve into the structure and function of plastids and mitochondria, the powerhouses of plants. Picture this. Plants are like little factories, working around the clock to produce the energy they need to grow, flourish, and reproduce. Central to this process are the plastids and mitochondria, tiny but potent powerhouses that keep the plant's operations running smoothly. Plastids are versatile structures that contain pigments like chlorophyll, which are essential for photosynthesis. They exist in various forms, each with a unique function. Chloroplasts, for instance, are a type of plastid that's responsible for the green color of plants. They capture light energy from the sun and convert it into chemical energy, a process we know as photosynthesis. Isn't that fascinating? Then there are chromoplasts, plastids that give fruits and flowers their vibrant colors. They attract pollinators and aid in seed dispersal, ensuring the survival of plant species. Leucoplasts, on the other hand, are colorless plastids involved in the synthesis and storage of starches and oils. They're the plant's pantry, storing food for future use. Now let's turn our attention to the mighty mitochondria. They are the site of respiration in plant cells, a process that converts stored energy into a usable form. This is how plants get their fuel to grow, repair, and carry out other vital functions. Mitochondria are like the power plants of the cell, producing the energy that keeps the plant alive and thriving. In essence, plastids and mitochondria are the dynamos that drive plant life. They work tirelessly, converting light energy into chemical energy and breaking down stored energy for the plant to use. This is why we often refer to them as the powerhouses of plants. So the next time you admire a lush green leaf or a brightly colored flower, remember the vital role these microscopic powerhouses play in making it all possible. Just like our bodies need powerhouses to function, so do plants. Now let's unravel the magic behind how plants make their own food through photosynthesis. Imagine being able to create your own food from sunlight. Sounds like a superpower, right? Well, that's exactly what plants do every day. This process is called photosynthesis, the secret behind the green world that surrounds us. Photosynthesis is a two-step dance, each step occurring in a different part of the plant cell, known as the chloroplast. The first act is called the light-dependent reactions. These take place in the thylakoid membranes of the chloroplast. Here, sunlight is captured by chlorophyll, the pigment that gives plants their green hue, and other pigments called carotenoids. This energy is then used to split water molecules into oxygen, which is released into the atmosphere, and hydrogen, which is saved for the next act. Now, on to the second act, the light-independent reactions, also known as the Calvin cycle. This takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast. Here, the saved hydrogen combines with carbon dioxide from the air to form glucose. Glucose is a type of sugar that plants use as an energy source and building block for growth. So you see, photosynthesis is a beautifully choreographed dance of light and chemistry, where water and carbon dioxide are transformed into oxygen and glucose. But it's not just about feeding the plant. Photosynthesis has a much broader impact. It's the primary source of oxygen in our atmosphere. Without it, breathing would be a bit of a challenge, wouldn't it? But that's not all. The glucose produced by photosynthesis is the starting point for most of the food chains on our planet. In other words, nearly every creature on Earth relies on this process, directly or indirectly, for their sustenance. And let's not forget about climate change. As photosynthesis consumes carbon dioxide, it helps to reduce the levels of this greenhouse gas in our atmosphere, playing a crucial role in mitigating global warming. So, photosynthesis is not just a botanical marvel, it's a life-sustaining process, a testament to the intricate interconnections within our biosphere. It's a reminder that we are all part of a larger, beautifully complex system. Photosynthesis is not just about feeding the plant, it's about sustaining life on Earth. So the next time you see a leaf basking in the sunlight, take a moment to appreciate the magic that's happening right there, beneath the green. Did you know plants breathe too? Let's understand the rhythm of plant respiration. Just like us, plants need oxygen for survival, but their process is a bit more complex. They absorb oxygen during the day and night, but the respiration rhythm differs. During the day, plants photosynthesize, creating oxygen and energy. but at night they switch gears to respiration. Now let's delve into the structure of the powerhouses of plant cells, the mitochondria. These microscopic structures are the site of respiration in plants. They're equipped with a double membrane. The outer membrane is smooth, while the inner one is folded into many layers, creating a large surface area for chemical reactions. These foldings, known as cristae, are where the magic happens. This is where we enter the realm of aerobic respiration. This process occurs in 3 stages: glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. Glycolysis occurs in the cytosol of the cell, splitting glucose into 2 molecules of pyruvate. The Krebs cycle then takes these molecules, breaking them down further and transferring their energy to carrier molecules. Finally, the electron transport chain uses this energy to pump protons across the inner mitochondrial membrane, creating a gradient that drives the production of ATP, the cell's energy currency. But what happens when oxygen is scarce? That's when plants switch to anaerobic respiration. This process is less efficient and results in the production of alcohol or lactic acid as byproducts. It's a survival strategy, a way for plants to continue producing energy when conditions are not ideal. Interestingly, the respiration rhythm of plants is not just about survival. It's also a way for them to communicate with each other. Some research suggests that plants release specific chemicals during respiration, which can signal to other plants about their health status or the presence of threats. So, there you have it. The rhythm of plant respiration is a fascinating dance of survival, communication, and adaptation. Just as we need to breathe to live, plants need to respire to survive. So how do these pieces fit together to form the amazing world of plant life? Let's take a moment to reflect. From the vascular tissue system that acts as the plant's highway, distributing nutrients and water, to the unique structure of dicot and monocot roots, stems, and leaves, each part plays a crucial role in the plant's life cycle. The striking colors we see in plants? They're the result of different pigments found in chloroplasts, the site where photosynthesis, the plant's way of making food, takes place. And those plastids? They're not just for show. They have their own significant roles in the plant's metabolism. And let's not forget about the mitochondria, the powerhouses of plants, where both aerobic and anaerobic respiration takes place. Each piece, each process, contributes to the plant's ability to grow, thrive, and reproduce. Remember, every leaf that falls, every flower that blooms, and every fruit that ripens tells the story of the intricate world of plant anatomy and physiology.